I've been grinding daily for the finish line. Ain't no quitting inside, it's the finish line. Every step I feel the weight I'm pushing through. Built the fire inside, now it's breaking through. I've been grinding daily for the finish line. Ain't no quitting inside, it's the finish line. Every step I feel the weight I'm pushing through. Built the fire inside, now it's breaking through. I'd be running circles if it wasn't for my mindset. Lost inside the dark, but now I'm guided by my mindset. Had to break the chains, I wasn't born into the mindset. Now I'm building empires, all created from mindset. Credit to God, all that I got, built from the ground. I took a shot, I scored a 3, got what I need. Open my eyes, I gotta see. Moving the goalposts, I'm tired of kicking these bricks. I see the finish line, I'm running, know that I'm the one he picked. I've been grinding daily for the finish line. Ain't no quitting inside, it's the finish line. Every step I feel the weight I'm pushing through. Built the fire inside, now it's breaking through. I wake up early in the morning with the fire in my chest. Ain't got time for no rest. You can't treat me like no guest, cause I know that I'm a next. I've been down before, I had to stack it to the ceiling. I didn't like the flow, I had to get up on my ass and go and get some more. I made it happen, I'm cold as winter snow. I've been grinding daily for the finish line. Ain't no quitting inside, it's the finish line. Every step I feel the weight I'm pushing through. Built the fire inside, now it's breaking through. Down south, but we're not done. Third track hit it at the park with the home run. It's a family tight-knit circle. Journey never stopped till the blatant commercial. Time don't tell, never see us in a magazine. Don't got a face on the front, never make a scene. But they got a lock down on the playlist. Pull it up quick, scan a code. Can you play this? Play it out loud on the PA. Party, get the ice cream drip in the PA. 300K, got a nice ring to it. 100,000 plays, time free, got a ring to it. Put it on the plate, never look back. 3-3 bang track, gonna roll with it. Work hard, don't we play hard. We will never stop till you rock with it. We will never stop, not saying adios. Trio always bumping, say we on a roll. Santa LA, now we do it across the states. On the street where we started, in the Great Salt Lake.
We were the cause of making your head nod, discovering our song that played it on our stock. Till it hit 300,000 and still we're making the music, producing tunes in a way for you it's fully fluent. My brother's back and that's a lot to say with where he was. Overcoming hell, respect, man, I got a lot of love. He before you was the greatest. I said, he before you was the greatest. Of all time, that's a sign of the line. Watch the sky, keeps the grind, shifts the mind. Corrects it if out of line. I've been doing that for a time and now I'm ready to break out. The way I'm dealing with my demons, I'm feeling it's played out. Pour up in the WI, my company thriving. Order streets, killing it live. We'll keep it.
Oh, okie dokie. What was that? Let's go. Get shares out. All right, guys. Oh, we got a special guest today. We'll do our third ever podcast. We're live on YouTube. We're live on TikTok. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch. Be able to check us out over there on all those platforms. Today, guys, we got our boy. Today's guest is Josh Mayhorn. Let's go ahead and flip her over here to this side. Yo, what's up, Josh? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Today's guest, Josh Mayhorn. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to do this. For you all that don't know, Josh didn't reach out and say, hey, let's do a podcast together. I reached out to Josh because I like his message. I like what he stands for, and I feel like that Pike County needs a little bit of this. Get you a little bite over Pike County. Josh is a lifelong resident over there at Pike County, all the way over toward the corner there, a little place called Stopover. Ironically enough, that's where I'm from. So I don't know if you all, y'all know where Stopover is or not, but that's where he's from. It's a little place over there toward Argo called Camp Creek. I've known Josh my whole life. Always been a down-to-earth dude. He's simple, loves his family time, loves his sheeps, chickens, goats. In his spare time, if he gets any, he likes to take a little time and jump on his 350 Rancher and head down to the river to do a little bit of fishing, even if it is an East Kentucky duck. Y'all know what that is, floating down through there. But most importantly, guys, let's take the second, and make sure that we say this. Josh is of the Christian faith, so let's do a little life story on you, Josh. I know it's a lot different. You're sitting here in front of, well, you're not in front of a lot of people. It's just me and you sitting here talking, but this is your first time doing it, and I know it's, we've been over this and we've talked about it, setting the stuff up, making sure your audio sounds good, making sure your camera looks good. I mean, look at him, guys. He's at work right now trying to do a podcast and just try to get his name out there just a little bit. Essentially what we're going to do is we're just going to do a little life story on Josh. We're going to ask Josh, what made you decide to go for run for magistrate? Because if I'm not mistaken, magistrate's just something new that they're bringing back.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Josh's life and what's put him on the road to county politics, to say the least. At least in county politics, We ain't talking about none of those big boys over there that can't get their shit straight and lie to everybody. Josh, my first question to you, brother. What's the purpose of a magistrate? Why did we go away from the magistrate? And why, after, 4 or 5 years, are we bringing back the magistrate side? Explain that to me.
What had happened about 10 years ago, Pike County had got into some financial trouble. The downturn in the coal market resulted in a big loss of the county's coal severance money, and facing some hardships in the county on local county government. There was some mismanagement here and there, and having to tighten the budget string, so to speak. The county voted, actually the people voted to go from magistrates to commissioners. So they went from 6 magistrates to 3 commissioner districts.
So essentially, if you you got 5 or 6 magistrate spots. Is that what it is? So each one of those picked up essentially 2 magistrate zones or districts. So they were over 2 of those, right?
It's basically doubled. It went from I think 5 or 6 magistrates before, or I think 6 before, to 3 commissioners, and now we voted about 3 years ago to go back to magistrates. So it'll go from 3 commissioners currently to 6 magistrate districts.
Well, so you say that they got a little bit of financial situation. Look, it ain't no news to nobody. It ain't no new news. We know, and I don't give a shit. And guys, forgive my language. I know there's going to be a lot of people in here that support Josh. Don't let the way that I talk deter you from this. Is just something me and Josh sit down here and having us a conversation. But and I don't care who it pisses off. But I grew up in Pike County. I grew up right there on the main road. And I'll be 100% honest with you. I didn't see Hillman Dotson but one time, and that was every 4 years when it was time to run for re-election. Oh, Bubby, let's get you fixed. Yeah. Yeah, because people, I've seen it. I remember it. And I'm not even in the county politics up here where I'm at, Josh. Yeah. I like the story. I like what you and Benjamin are doing. And that's why I reached out to you and said, Josh, if you get time, have you ever thought about doing a podcast? And he was like, well, no. But that's what I want to do. I want to be able to, I don't know how good of a platform that I've got here enough to push you. But what I can do is I can put this video in people's face and say, look, go out and vote. Don't vote for where the money's at. Vote for someone who's got a little bit of damn common sense. Someone who grew up tough. Someone who understands what it's like to have to bust your ass and work doubles and work back just to pay the power bill instead of going out and voting for somebody. Well, you know, they've always had money. They've done me right. That's the problem.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. That's one of the big reasons I'm running.
I've not seen anybody but you and Benjamin get out there and try. Granted, I get it. Like you're doing it now, Josh. You and him both. And I don't think it's a publicity stunt that you're getting out there trying to do this. What time you're running for that? But so the last time I was in July, I noticed that. And if I noticed it, I know you've noticed it, and I've known everybody that lives within Phelps. And I'm talking, you know, this goes deeper than that. This goes Feds Creek. It goes over toward Blackberry. I don't even know how far District 5 is. But just if I notice it, I know everybody that drives by that shit and sees that notices it.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, you know, kudos to you and Benjamin and the help that you all have for getting out there and doing it. If we had a little bit more of that, it'd be all right.
Yeah. I tell you, with one of the things with me, it's an emphasis on younger leadership that is actually, I mean, physically capable to get out and do things like that for their community. I mean, we all realize once you hit a certain age, I mean, physically,
you can't do it, Josh.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do it.
That's my thing with it. So I don't care not one bit to get out and help the community to do stuff like that. Can I get out and do it by myself? No. But I mean, I don't care to help other volunteers and try to organize.
Absolutely.
Help people do it. You know,
yeah.
And even if I'm elected, I don't care not one bit to put a set of boots on and put a set of gloves on and go out there and help the community and do exactly whatever they're doing. I don't care to hop in and do it.
Absolutely.
I'm young enough and healthy enough to do it.
That's what needs to happen, right? Don't look, guys. This dude, he works 2 jobs, so I mean, let's be honest. He knows exactly what it's like to get out there and struggle. And Josh, you know, don't forget. I don't think you mind me saying this, but the guy uses wood heat, guys, because it's physically impossible to even cover the power bill. You know, and so he uses wood heat. He knows what it's like to struggle. He works 2 jobs. He works at the school. He does he works 7 days a week. So it's kind of hard for him to get out there and clean this up. And the only way he would be able to do it is on his day off, which is why a lot of you all haven't got to see him come around a whole lot because he works 7 days a week. So give him just a little bit of a break if you ask for like a sign or something. Just got to know that he's still got to fit it in within his schedule between sleeping and working and cutting wood and attending to his goats and making sure that, you know, he hits the people who want to, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot that's going on there. The boy don't have the money to sit there at the house and just pay for advertisements on Facebook and put his name on the internet or on commercials. Like, he's got to get out here and he's got to do the footwork, which is why I'm glad that he decided to come on today and let me talk to him about, because I don't know anything about local politics. Hell, I barely know anything about government federal politics. But anything else you want to say about that, Josh?
No, well, I will in case anybody hadn't seen it on the news. Bad news for all of us. Kentucky Power, they got approved for their 6-point-something rate hike. So things are going to be getting a little tougher anyway, as it is. So,
that's insane. That's absolutely insane.
Enough.
Yeah, and there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. I was talking to a buddy of mine, Josh, and we're gonna stay on topic. I got to get back on topic here in a minute, but this is what I want to say. I got a buddy of mine, and he was talking about the price of everything, and we were talking about the infrastructure back there. Well, they're saying they need to take raises because the amount of people that are moving out of PIKE County to sustain the infrastructure. It's supply and demand, Josh. If the demand's not there, you got an overabundance of supply. The problem is, if you don't have that supply and you have an overabundance of demand, that's when the prices go up. They're doing this shit because I don't know why they're doing it, but it aggravates me because I got family that live back there who struggle to make it as well. You know.
Yeah.
But let's jump on it over here. What is the budget approval? What is a budget approval, and what does the magistrate do with that budget approval? Talk to me, buddy.
Buddy, to the best of my knowledge, and I'll just go ahead and put this out there, I have not went yet to do the open records request to receive the annual budget. Some candidates have, most haven't yet. I've not got that copy yet myself. I think, to the best of my knowledge, the county's budget is around 115, 116 million dollars a year is what they're working with, and that comes from some grants, what they take in tax revenue, national tax, what they get left on co-severance tax. But what we will do is each year the physical court, the 6 magistrates, the judge executive, we'll have to sit down and work on the budget each year to see how it gets broke down and see what gets appropriated to where, see what goes to the jail, see what's getting appropriated for solid waste, the road lots, projects.
So that's your local services, right, Josh? So that's your okay.
Yeah, that's all on the county, all on county level.
Okay, so when we talk about budget approval, that's county level. Is there any way that the state government, federal government, I mean, which you all, Pike County has lost a lot of money in the last 15 years that I've been gone because of the amount of jobs that have shut down. Coal's just not doing what it was used to do. Is there something that maybe for like FEMA and stuff that's able that you're able or someone is able to reach out to get some help with fixing these issues? Just like down by Bertha's, it took 4 years to get that road fixed after the flood washed it out.
Yeah,
A man should look at me, guys. Nobody should have to worry about whether or not they're going to drive down the road and fall over the damn hill because the road's washed out. There's no excuse for it. There's no call in it. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we were talking earlier, and I asked you what a magistrate does. So let's talk about the ordinance. You had mentioned that you all deal directly with ordinance.
The ordinances, like I'll use for an example, like a noise ordinance, like after 9 or 10 o'clock. It's like local stuff. Like if we have to pass any ordinances, it's along the lines of that kind of deal with the local. It's all local stuff, basically. Right. If we have to pass anything from,
how does that come about? Is it just noise complaints where people are calling in? Anything like that, like loud exhaust. Like, look, so when you know how Hurley is. You live right there on the other side of Hurley. You can't have you can't have an open exhaust. They don't want your vehicle to be. I mean, all this is ordinance stuff, Josh. They don't want your vehicle lowered. They don't want it raised up because it could blind somebody. They don't want tent on. Ordinance just isn't sound, if I'm not mistaken. But it's anything to do with public safety as far as road conditions go, right?
Yeah, pretty well about situations like that. Now the stuff that you was talking about, like the wind to tent, and a lot of that comes down from state law.
Does it?
Especially in Virginia, Kentucky, they don't really push it too hard, but all that the state law and stuff. I was more along the lines of talking about like ordinance, like if you had a neighbor that was music loud and partying, let's say, and blasting music at 11 o'clock at night, keeping the neighbors up.
That's most time when they get cranking, Josh. That's when the beers start hitting good, Bubby. It's about 11 o'clock.
Well, the thing about it is now we're old now. You're losing your hair, and I'm getting white in my goatees. I think
you have to bring it up every single time about me going bald.
Yeah, I think our partying days is about over with, old pal.
Buddy, I don't party. I ain't partied in a long time. I stay off to myself. I like to be left the hell alone, Josh. I don't like people bothering me.
They ain't nothing wrong with that. I feel you on that. I feel about the same way.
Let's talk about the infrastructure around there, Josh. I know we got a bunch of maintenance for the county roads, bridges, properties. And then you were talking about industrial parks. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, on the infrastructure part, the magistrates, now they have been some confusion in the past that the magistrates are over every single road in the county,
Okay.
but they are actually roads that the state has to take care of, that the state has state maintained.
Okay.
Have like the secondary roads, like I'll use for an example, like the hollers.
Okay.
That's county roads. And you know, a magistrate, it's kind of like you're representing your people in each district. You're going around. You're supposed to go around and keep a check on the roads. If the ditch is full, if a pothole needs fixed, what needs done to kind of help advocate and help speak up on behalf of your district.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of keeping an eye on the county roads, on how they're maintained, and
That's something that I want to dive into this a little bit. I don't want to leave this one just sitting out there simmering. When I lived back there, I was a dumbass, guys. I'll be honest with you. I drove up and down that road through Stopover like it was a Daytona 500. Before I could do that, and I'm not sitting here saying it's okay to be driving up and down Stopover at 90 miles an hour, I had to remember every single pothole in that road. It's bad when you got to play, when you're driving, and I'm not saying everybody drove like I used to, which I don't do anymore, but it was like playing Tetris, Bulls. You had to know where the potholes was and hope to God that when you come around that curve that nobody met you face to face.
yep.
You know, and the ditches. I mean, back where I grew up, you know, you would get it, it would flood every now and then, but it does nothing like it does now. I've seen pictures like that never used to flood, and the ditches are so full, the creeks are so full. Just like for instance, and I'm going to go off on just a little bit of a rabbit hole here. Trey Atkins up there in Hurley, they got washed off a couple, was it 3 or 4 years ago? Guess before it got hit really hard. And this is just from talking to local people back home. Jody would know about it because Jody deals with a lot of that, or don't deal with it, but he talks a lot about it, right? Guess Forks gets washed off, and instead of dipping these creeks, you know, Trey Atkins had mentioned about getting in, which he's what is he, the commissioner or something? He's something. It's almost like a magistrate, but he oversees Hurley.
Yeah, they call it a supervisor.
Supervisor, that's what it is. But he had talked about getting in there and dipping those creeks out. And the EPA was there, even though it flooded. And this is what they're worried about. They're worried about a damn fish, guys. Not the fact that you work your ass off and to have something, and nobody gives a shit about it. Only thing they're worried about is a damn fish. And I mean, it pisses me off. It really does, because I see so many people that work for everything they have to start over. And then they used to say this once in a 100-year flood or a 1,000-year flood. Why are we having it every 3 or 4 years? Because you won't dip the damn creeks. You won't clean it out. And just like up toward Race Fork, where they used to go down in the creek in these coal trucks and wash their undercarriage out. And I can remember that creek, me being younger, up past my waist. But now it's so, I mean, because there's so much buildup in it. There's so much debris. The rocks push out of these mountains and wash down in there. Like, I get it. Like, you want to keep wildlife alive, but also, I mean, my goal would be to make sure that the people that's busted their ass and give to this community and give to this county can wake up tomorrow without their house being sucked under the bridge down at Middle Elk.
Yeah.
And that's something I've never understood.
Yeah, a lot of that comes back to state and federal regulations that the county don't really have no control over.
Yeah, I know they don't have control over it, but I tell you one thing, and I'm not going to say any names. There was a guy, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, would work at night and get down there and clean that creek out and dip that creek out, and I don't think it's ever flooded there. It's right down below where you live.
Yeah.
But he opened that up. He kept that. I don't know how it looks now since he's gone, but he kept it cleaned up, man. You know, and it's just, I mean, I could pull it up, and I'm sure Josh has it, and I think he shared it as well. There's like 59% of Pike Countyans that live in a flood zone. 59% of you all. If you're not on a hillside, which you got to worry about that too. You got to worry about those rocks are holding water and blowing out on you. Then you're in a flood zone because they don't give a shit. And I know this has nothing to do with Josh, but he can be a voice for you all to take this. Him and Benjamin both could be a voice for you all to take this up to the state level and say, hey, look, we got to do something here, guys. These guys, they can't keep losing everything they have. They can't do it. It's hard enough to live back there. It's hard enough to live anywhere right now with the price of things. And when there's no work, just like you, Josh, working 2 jobs, just to survive. You don't want to lose everything you've worked for. Neither does anybody else that lives there.
Yeah, it takes a whole lot to try to rebuild it back. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then you get pushed back on a back burner for years. Like I said, right down below Bertha's there, where that road got washed out. How long did they even got a bridge at Summer Road yet?
Yeah, they have completed them bridges last year, last part of the fall and late summer. They actually got Summer Road, a bridge back, and then after they finished Summer Road, they come on up to Middle Elk, and they got them a bridge finished late fall. So yeah, they've got bridges back to those areas.
So here's my question: how long did it take? And I know it takes. That comes from the government level. I understand that because the FEMA money's got to be approved and so on and so. How long did that take?
I'll be honest with you, on the Summer Road Bridge and the Middle Elk Bridge, they started on the Summer Road Bridge first. Mm-hmm. And best of my knowledge, I'm trying to think back to a year ago.
You don't have to give me a specific date. Like it's hard to remember all this stuff.
It took them probably about 2, maybe 3 months at the most to actually get down there and get started on it. Part of it on Summer Road. And as soon as they finished Summer Road, they went straight on up to Middle Elk to get started on their bridge. But they, for the disaster that we had and the amount of damage that was across the county, they actually got the bridges put back pretty fast.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Hang on, hold on. What you got? Hey, chat. Listen, if you all are in here, I will be opening up chat. Y'all can talk, and I'm still reading the chat. I'm going to open up the chat here when we get done with these questions. We're just going to try to stay on topic here. So, look, I promise you all I'll go back and read every one of your all's messages, and then it'll give you all an opportunity to ask Josh. I forgot to say that earlier, on what you all want to ask him. So just bear with me. Let us get through this, and then we'll open it up for you all. Okay. Okay, so that's not bad. That's not bad. But I know and like I said, I know a lot of it is the allocation of money. I understand that because that's a lot. I don't know how far, like I said, your district reaches, but it's just like going over there in Callaway Mountain. How long that you had to drive through the ditch line over there before they decided? I don't even know if I think they fixed it now. Coming out of Blackberry over into Callaway.
They did. They fixed that a few years ago.
I know there for a while it was washed out, and that takes a lot of resources. I do get that.
Now that's another state road, Callaway.
Is that state? Even though it's okay. I didn't know that. I didn't. Like I said, I've been gone so long, and I don't know anything about the local politics there. This is why I wanted to talk to you and see how about this whole ordeal. Moving on to the next thing. County appointments. What is that, for instance?
Buddy, a lot of the hiring that they do through the county, road workers, road supervisors, solid waste, some of the promotions and stuff, the animal shelter, a lot of the appointments and the hiring that they do, a lot of it's voted on by the physical court. it is. So we would actually have to vote on it.
So anybody that's within the local politics there would have to vote on that.
Yeah, like promotions and stuff, moving people up, pay raises, things of that nature.
Right. And I'll be honest with you. Like I don't know how Pike County still survives with the amount of work that's been lost back there. And I know that sounds bad, but it's anybody can see it, man. Work goes away. Coal mines, for instance, a lot of you all that are from Pike County, you all have seen a drastic hit. I've seen it, and I moved away in 2014. So it's been 12 years I've been away, and I see it, and I know it hurts, and I see it hurting people. But I just don't know how they do it. One thing that when me and you talked, we was getting everything set up, and we were talking about how a lot of people, man, just had to pack up everything they ever worked for and leave, move to Northern Kentucky, go to work at Toyota, go to work at a contractor that supplies parts to Toyota, go to work in Indiana. It's crazy, man. I hate to see somewhere that I loved, and I never dreamed, Josh. I never dreamed that I would ever leave Pike County. I love that place. That place molded me, I knew every inch of those hills. I lived in them. And to see it just fall apart like that, man, it's terrible. It's absolutely. And, there's nothing there to offer anybody. And like you said, Kellogg's can't keep everybody employed. I've seen where not United, but Apex just shut down their job up there in Hurley and down there in Woodman the other day.
Yeah, that's all called Clintwood JOD now.
So I mean, I'm sure somebody's going to come in and probably buy that up and try to work it, but it's just. I think there's so many regs on it, man. It's nearly impossible to sustain that.
Yeah, well, right now the Clintwood JOD, they're on a temporary layoff, and the rumor I heard it's supposed to be a lawsuit between the investors that bought into the company, so that possibly could be temporary.
Okay.
But another big co-operator that was around in this area that employed a lot of people up around Paw Paw and Big Rock, Virginia, just across the state line, was United and Wellmore Coal Company, and they're all shut down right now, and they're trying to sell their operations out. So that was another big company that's closed around here.
Mm-hmm. United's been shut down for a little while, but I did hear that United was actually bought out. Everything's gonna be finalized here, so hopefully they're able to open those jobs back up relatively quickly to get people back to work. Hoping so, anyway.
That would be the best case scenario for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because people has to work, and if they don't,
it has
work,
to, man.
They're going to slap a for sale sign on their place, and then they're going to come down there and be your neighbor.
One thing that I could never do, man, after getting laid off, the last time I got laid off when I was working back there, and me and Elisa was talking about, having a family, having a future. There's absolutely no way that I could go to work, wake up in the morning, and have my 2 children there, not knowing if I was going to be able to feed them next month, because it's such a toss up, when it comes to that particular industry, and they don't care. They don't want to bring anything in there, and I don't understand it. I don't know why people are not fighting for it. Even above the magistrate side, why are we not fighting for this? Look how long Ray Jones has been in there. I guess he's made some pretty big buddies up here in Frankfort. Why are they not fighting for that? Why are they not fighting to bring jobs in there? Suppliers for Toyota. I mean, why? None of it makes sense, man. It's like they want that place to fall apart and be nothing.
Yeah, it really does make you wonder. I mean, we've got industrial parks. We've got 3 industrial parks. And
yes,
Which a little bit on the good news side of that, I will say it was on Mountaintop Media News been a few months ago. Uh, the federal government had appropriated some money, and the way they divided it up, Pikeville was getting $6 million to build a big warehouse type, large building type kind of situation up at one of the industrial parks in Pikeville, a $6 million medium sized warehouse type kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And they're supposed to have somebody that is interested in putting some kind of a business there. That was all that I have heard on that situation. I'm not hearing no more details other than that.
So are they still planning that?
Yeah, that's last I heard, and I had seen it was on the news that the money was appropriated for that, and I think sometime in the near future they might start construction on that. Hopefully, that was the last thing that I had heard.
That would be nice. Just like I told you though, I work for the biggest automaker in the world. You know what I mean? I work for Toyota. And a lot of our parts, Josh, the Camry is 96% made in America.
Yeah.
It's the most American-made vehicle ever. And we're getting supplier parts from North Carolina. We get supplier parts from Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama. It blows my mind why they won't contact this. I mean, Toyota's been there since '86. Put a supplier down there and pay you $24, $25 an hour for supply parts. It's still going to be faster to run it from Pike County, whether if it's on Johns Creek or Kemper, no matter where it's at. If it's in the middle of Pikeville, still faster than running it up from Chillicothe. Faster than running it up from Huntsville, Alabama, or North Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I agree with you.
That's something that these people, and like I said, above you, but starting even at local politics is putting this bug in somebody's ear, like a representative that can talk directly to our governor, maybe bring something in like that.
The thing that I had always heard, and I'm sure you had heard it too, all when we was kids growing up, the one thing we always heard when people would start talking about bringing in new jobs here, the first thing that would come out of their mouth would be, well, there's no roads here. There's no way to get stuff in. There's no way to get...
No major interstates is what I always heard.
Roads. But I'll be honest with you, the way I feel about it, I think they're going to have to come off of that because we have US 23 running through Pikeville, running down through all of Pike County. US 23 is a 4-lane. We have US 119 coming from Pikeville, going back up through Williamson, Logan, back up towards that way in West Virginia. And I'd say you probably remember it. We was teenagers when they opened up US 119.
Yep.
So we have that now. And then on top of that, last year they opened up the new US 460.
Yep.
Which what they're calling the Corridor Q of the Coalfields Expressway that connects US 23 below Pikeville into Buchanan County, Virginia, and connects it into Grundy, Virginia.
Yep.
And then on top of that, I think they're in the final phase of the Mountain Parkway. So
Mountain Parkway's about done.
In my opinion, I think they're going to have to come off the excuse we ain't got the roads.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, Josh. Look how successful Kellogg's has been.
Yeah.
They've been there since I can remember.
Yeah.
I've never seen them shut the doors. So
yeah.
that's kind of the thing about it is it's there. It's just putting the right leadership, guys. And this goes for you all. It doesn't affect me. Like I don't vote down there. Putting the right people in place to be successful for your county, for your state, your district to be successful. That's the thing about it. And quit voting for the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. That's the problem I see. Well, I voted for him last time, and he's always been good to me. But one thing you got to do is step back and look in the mirror and say, "Well, has he done anything for us, or has she done anything for us?" You know?
Yeah. That's the definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
Yep.
That goes the same way when you go out to vote. If you keep voting and expecting something different, you keep voting for the same people, nothing changes.
Same shit.
I mean, what do you expect?
Yep. And I think that's a perfect way to say, hey, give Josh Mayhorn your vote. Vote for the change. Vote for someone who hasn't been fed by a silver spoon, who hasn't had everything given to him, someone who can't afford to get on here and pay for TV advertisers because he's got to pay his bills. Give that opportunity to somebody else and quit voting for the same people who let you down time after time, year after year, but want to be your best friend when it comes to election time. Quit doing it. Quit doing it. I don't care if they're Democrat, Republican, Independent. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. A lot of people will die on a Democratic hill, and a lot of people will die on a Republican hill. I don't give a shit. Democrat, Republican does not show your character. You show your character. And what you should do is vote in a way that, look, if Josh was to go in there, and I'm going to say this, being 100% honest with you, if they gave you your vote and you got magistrate and you didn't do shit that they told you to do, I would expect your ass voted out next time.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
But it's the bootlickers. It's the bootlickers that keep getting voted in there.
Yeah.
Let's jump back in. Let's jump back in on our questions here. In your view, Josh, what are the 3 most pressing infrastructures or budgetary challenges facing your county over the next 4 years?
I'd have to say, for infrastructure challenges, I would have to say the biggest infrastructure challenge is going to be continuing to repair the 2025 flood damage that we had last year. That's been a lot of damage to a lot of our county roads and stuff, and that's a big problem. And then jumping over to the budgetary challenges of that question, and that would go back to fixing the 2025 flood damage. We're going to have to rely on a lot of FEMA money to be able to make a lot of permanent fixes on a lot of that. So that's a budgetary problem. And another part of the budgetary problem is, like we was talking about earlier, it's population decline.
Yes.
Pike County has been in a population decline since 1980. Every single year, the population has declined in Pike County since 1980. We went from, I think, like 80,000 people in 1980, late 70s, and now I think the last numbers I saw, we are down to like 55,000 people in Pike County, give or take. I may be wrong on those.
And that's
numbers.
a 2020 census too. We're 6 years into that census.
Yeah.
So where's it at now? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's a significant problem, because if people can't work here and make a decent living, they're going to have to come down places like where you live.
Mm-hmm.
And that's somebody here that they're not shopping in our stores paying taxes. They don't have their vehicles here paying taxes, licensing their vehicles. They're not supporting local businesses.
Yep.
That tax base is gone. So somewhere in the future, if that continues and things don't start to change, they will come a time that it will cost more money to run Pike County than what we will actually be taking in.
I think that you are on the verge of going into a deficit anyway. Which is why I seen where Pikeville Hospital bought something out. I can't remember exactly what it was. That way they would take some of the burden off in Pikeville because of their deficit. One thing that my Uncle Jody used to always say was, why in the hell is Pike County, outside of city limits, still a dry county? Okay? And I'm going to give you a few reasons as to why it shouldn't be. People are going to drink and drive regardless, whether you want them to or not.
Yeah.
We hope they don't. We hope they are smarter than that. But they're going to go right across the hill, right there in Pawpaw. They're going to buy their beer. They're going to go up into Hurley. They're going to buy their beer. How much money is Pike County, your area, Josh, Phelps, Stopover, Grapevine, Freeburn, go to Mayhorn. How many tax dollars is being lost there because the people are stuck in the, well, we don't want to vote for it. We don't want to vote for it. I remember back when I was younger, and I know this sounds terrible, but Lord have mercy, Skinner saved me quite a few nights. You know what I mean? And then, you know, people get pissed off because he was bootlegging beer. But that's just the nature of it, man.
But if I ain't mistaken, I think I want to say, don't hold me for sure on this, but I think somewhere in the past, I think Pike County actually had it on the ballot to vote on if people wanted Pike County to be a wet county.
Yeah.
And I don't think it passed.
It don't. It doesn't. The last time that I know that it was voted on, I feel it was like around 2008 or 2009.
It's been a long time ago.
And the only people that would go vote is your deep-rooted older people back there that would vote for the same thing, obviously. And then they voted it down.
Yeah.
It's gonna look. I'm gonna tell you all something, and I'm gonna pull my phone out, even though I don't like to do that. But I'm gonna do this because me and Josh was talking about this the other day, and he sent this over to me. Give me just a second, Josh.
All right.
Because I really want to read this statistic off. Let me find her. "2022 primary election. 21% in Mouth Card got out and voted. 21.4% in Raccoon got out and voted. Grapevine, 18. Feds Creek, 15. Phelps, 24%. Phelps had the biggest turnout in 2022 election. Blackberry, 12.5. Deskins, 24.6. Freeburn, 18%. Majestic, 13%. Woodford, 20%. That's total. That's both Republican and Democrat numbers that are itemized.
Kind of disappointing, ain't it?
It's disappointing. Absolutely it is. Because that's your God-given right to get out and vote. And the thing is, and I see it a lot, and I'm not saying this to hurt anybody's feelings, but if you don't get out and vote, you don't have a reason to bitch. Straight up. Get out, make your voice heard, and vote for the right people. Don't just sit there and then, well, I wish things were different now. I wish they wouldn't have voted that MFer in here. Get out and make the change that you want. Be the change that you want. Go help this guy right here. Go help him and Benjamin. Go out there and clean up, make your place look a little bit better. It ain't your all's fault that it's like that. That's not what we're saying at all.
Yeah.
But you got to come together as a congregation to be able to maintain, and that, like I said, it goes from voting and keeping your place clean.
Yeah.
So go vote for the right people. Go vote for the people that are going to put the work in. There's nothing no worse as a business owner, I'm not a business owner, I'm just saying, a business owner, someone who works, is to see lazy people get in positions they don't deserve.
Yep.
But that takes me right to my next question. I've recently seen you and some community volunteers cleaning up illegal trash dumps. What are your ideas to help improve and stop this, or how to prevent this in the future, Josh?
Buddy, I have looked through the county and I've talked to people, and the illegal dumping situation, for whatever reason, it seems to be worse in District 5, and for whatever reason over in the Phelps area, Phelps, Stopover, Majestic, of what I can find out. You know, I'm sure there's illegal dumps other places.
Right, way back up in the holler where nobody sees it, yeah.
Yeah, but my thing is, is to try to work with the solid waste department. You know, they have some equipment that can kind of make it easy to clean that stuff up. To work with the solid waste department, to work with the jail and the work release inmates, and even community volunteers to try to clean those places up.
Now you'll see them on 23 out there cleaning it up.
Yeah. Well, they actually came been a few weeks ago when they cleaned up one place up at Phelps at Phillip Branch. The solid waste and the jail crew came and cleaned one place up, and the jail crew came and helped Benjamin Hurley on the place that we had started cleaning up across from Hornets and the laundromat. They had come help. But back to the question there. To get the inmates to help, Pike County Solid Waste to help clean it up. And then I'd like to be able to have more public dumping sites across the county to give people maybe more of an opportunity to use public dumps instead of illegal dumps.
Right.
And then once we've got the illegal dumps cleaned up, I'd like to see more enforcement with trail cameras and such to hopefully try to catch people that's done it, and then
make them stray away from doing that type of thing.
Yeah, and then try to prosecute the ones that you do find to try to prevent it from happening.
Right.
So it's kind of all of the above approach in my mind is what I'm thinking.
Well, Josh, I do believe that you got the right mindset, and you got your priorities in line. You know, I mean, like I said, look, guys, this ain't the first time me and him sat down. Me and him sat down and talked about this before we decided to do this podcast, because I feel like he deserves it, man. He deserves to be out there. But you know, that is Pike County forever be my home. You know, like I said, I love that place growing up, and I met my beautiful wife there, and you know, my parents and my family and stuff still lives back. I love it, man. I just don't want to see something that is just be ransacked, dude. And that's what it's been. That's what it's been. You know, and it's not one person's fault. And we're not by any means sitting here saying that. But, you know, if I live closer, I could take 2 or 3 hours out of my day and come up there and just help you pick stuff up.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't hurt. For one, it's a little bit of exercise. It's not, Lord knows I need it. But no, I want to say from my side, I appreciate that, and I know these other people appreciate that as well, Josh, for you and Benjamin getting out there, and the volunteers that helped you all clean that up. I just want to say we appreciate that, because it don't look as bad, man.
Yeah, we still got some more stuff we got to go over there and finish up, but we get it.
Absolutely, you will. Let's see. For someone who skips the local news, how would you describe the pulse of the county right now? What's the biggest win you all have had lately? I know that now there's going to throw you for a loop. You probably got to think about that one, but you know, you're probably talking to a lot of people here, Josh, that probably hasn't voted in years. That you're going to get a turnout. They're going to say, "I'm going to vote for Josh Mayhorn."
Buddy, right now, I would say the pulse of the county is people is feeling pretty angry right now. They don't feel like their voices is being heard. They don't feel like they're represented, and they just don't feel like government's offering them any kind of transparency, because we've recently had an issue going on with a landfill proposal that really stirred up some controversy here in the county. And it has a lot of people upset the way that nobody really knowed what was going on until decisions was done, made, and voted on.
And I think that was some backdoor bullshit.
So, you know, I won't speak on that, but it does have people.
My personal opinion, I can say that because I'm not running for an office, but my personal opinion, there was some backdoor bullshit going in there.
But that's the way people's feeling. I mean, I think they're feeling angry right now.
And every right to.
Yeah. And I think that will result in a lot more people going to the polls this spring, too.
I hope so.
But as far as the biggest win that we've had lately, I mean, as far as if you really sit and think, every time we turn on the local news here, it's always bad news, bad news, bad news. It's either we turn on the news and we see Kentucky Power's going to get their 6% rate increase, or we see a coal company's laid off. It's really hard to find anything good. But my mind kind of goes back to what I was mentioning there a minute ago last year when they opened up the new US 460. I think that was something pretty positive for the area. Some pretty good news for us anyway.
Yeah, well, it's gonna try. It won't eliminate it, but it will definitely put a binding on the excuse that we don't have a road to get product in and out. So, Pike County, get out there and make your voice heard. Make sure that them son of guns up there know what you all are capable of. Look how much land you all have to where you all can do stuff. Look and listen. I'm gonna tell you all something, and Josh don't even know what I'm gonna say here. So hold on to your britches. With the amount of coal that's back in the eastern Kentucky hills, let's slash some regulation. Let's get them coal power plants open back up. Use the coal locally, and bring a couple data centers into Pike County. And I know a lot of you all are dead against that. Let me tell you something. AI is definitely going to be the way of the future. We're not turning back from AI. Artificial intelligence, we are not turning away from it. Not saying you have to accept it. One thing I'm going to tell you is it's going to bring a ton of jobs. Data centers going to bring a ton of jobs. But the infrastructure's not there. They can't uphold the amount of power that data centers take to be sustainable. But the coal there, use it locally, and that's what these people up here in Frankfort need to start looking at, and then your local county politicians need to start looking at too, because I know it's going to bring a lot of jobs, and AI is not going anywhere, guys. I know as bad as you all hate it, but everybody uses AI every day. Every day you're using AI. Got your phone on. You look something up on Google. First thing that pops up, AI. You ask the question, AI. You get on Facebook, Meta, AI. It's not going anywhere. So what we can do is embrace it, and that will bring coal jobs back for mining, jobs back to the power plants, and then the jobs at the data centers. But you touched on the landfill. Did they strike that down?
Yes, they rescinded their vote last week. So
That's
yes,
good.
they pulled out of that agreement. So it's still a little unclear because the county breached the contract after they had done voted on it, and
Without nobody knowing, without anybody knowing. That's the kicker. Nobody knew it till it was already ready to go in.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Pike County's reservoirs has got enough water to supply the U.S. You put a landfill on top of one of these mountains and you get lithium in there. It's hard to tell what they bring in, what they're going to bring in there. We're talking radioactive waste, lithium, things of that nature, and it gets into your waterways. You will see a big change. Like we know, one thing that worries me, and I look back and I see it, is there's a lot of people I've noticed is it's almost like there's something going on back there with the amount of people that's being diagnosed with cancer. And I hate it, and I hate that it's going on, and I hate that it's happening. But if you think it's bad now, let them put a landfill up there. Let that get down into your reservoirs, and I promise you it'll kill everybody in Pike County. That shit ain't nothing to play with.
Yeah.
That's why they use these deserts to put this waste in. That way nobody's pulling from those. You cannot do that, guys. But anybody who's standing here and saying it's going to bring jobs, you're looking at today. You're not looking at tomorrow, and I can promise you don't want something like that there.
Yeah, that's the way a lot in the community feels.
You don't know what they're going to be doing. You're bringing trash in from another county or another state and dumping it there. You don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is. And And like I said, it's up to you all to make these changes. Let's jump in. Here's a little fun one. I want to hear what your answer is on this. You were handed a magic $1 million grant, Josh, that could only be used for specific projects in your district, District 5. Where's that money going tomorrow?
Going to be using it on the roads. I'm going to be fixing the creek banks, some permanent repairs, and be using it to try to fix some of our county roads. Because that's always the one big issue with magistrates and commissioners and problems is it's always the roads. So at $1 million to play with, we'd be starting on the roads tomorrow.
Get it done, get it ready, ain't it, Josh?
Done, get it going.
That's what I'm talking about, buddy. I mean that's the thing about it. People buy these vehicles, they don't want their vehicles junked out. I mean, yeah. I know I don't. And that's what me and my wife been talking about. This road I live on, it's kind of janky right now. We don't have the money to fix it. They come out and they patch it 2 or 3 times a year, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But you know that's a pretty good answer. That's what a lot of people are pissed off about. You know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's a good one. What's the biggest misconception people have about what a magistrate actually does on the physical court side?
Buddy, a lot of people actually think that a magistrate in the physical court is able to use the county's equipment on things like gravel for private driveways, which is actually illegal, and that's been one thing that people thinks always goes on because it has happened in the past.
That's what I was gonna say. Like it ain't never happened though.
Yeah, in the 90s and early 2000s, and you know that kind of time frame. I mean,
people get a whole driveway poured. I don't know where it came from.
Wasn't necessarily unheard of getting a little bit of gravel for your driveway or bringing a backhoe up and working on somebody's driveway or something like that. I mean, I was just a kid during that time, but I remember hearing stories about it. So I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions is that the county can use county equipment and
for
county
private
supplies for private property, and legally we can't. I mean,
so let me ask you a question about that. If a man had the money, just theoretically throwing this out, man had the money and he could get a hold of the county, see how much it'd be to pave a driveway, would they be able to do it that way, or would it have to be under a legal binding contract?
Buddy, I can't really speak on that because I'm not really for sure on that.
I don't know how that works.
Yep, I'm not really. I do know this, like if they have been people that lives like several miles up a county road, like a private gravel driveway or something like that, and they signed the right of way over to the county, and then it goes into the county system, and then the county will pave it or keep it graveled, and
okay.
they'll scrape it and stuff like that in the wintertime. But it has to be signed over. It has to be signed over into the county system.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I didn't know that. Thanks for clearing that up. I tell you what, man, it's I'm really excited to see how this race turns out. I really am. Like, I'm pulling for you hard. I can't vote for you, Josh, but damn it, I'm going to pull for you hard, buddy.
It'll definitely be interesting.
There was one question that I don't have on here that I wanted to ask you, and I cannot remember what it is. We'll come back to it. I'll try to remember what it is. So here's one question. I know y'all don't have subdivisions and stuff back there, but you know, like kind of where I'm from, and I'm sure the closer we could just use it in this context. How's the people at the end of the gravel road going to get the same value for their tax dollars as the people that's closer to Pikeville?
Buddy, in my opinion, it all boils down to representation, and it all boils down to trying to equally spread our resources out as best as possible.
And don't get trampled on.
Yeah, the stuff that we have to work with and what we're able to do, it shouldn't be focused all in one area. It should be equally spread out across the district the best we can. Try to make people feel like that they're not forgotten about.
Yes. And I know you living at the head of the holler up there. I bet you felt it more than once or twice, being forgotten about. And,
Yeah.
and I know it sucks, man. And just like you said, the representation. Somebody's not going to say no. That's what y'all need. PIKE County.
Yeah.
Somebody who's not going to bend over and just take it.
Yeah.
Stand up, stand firm, and believe what you're fighting for. That's the thing. Me and you talked about this the other day. Believe what you're fighting for. Believe your words. Believe in somebody that you select to represent you. That's the thing. We got to make sure that you all got to make sure you make the right decision on somebody who's going to fight for you all.
Yeah.
And fight to the end.
Instead of electing in another hand-picked from Pikeville.
Mm-hmm. I think you got as good a shot as anybody else. Like I said,
I feel pretty confident in it. I've gained a lot of support. Going from somebody that really didn't have no name recognition, even around where I grew up and lived at my whole life.
Yeah.
I've gained a lot of name recognition here lately. I still feel like the underdog in it.
Well, that's what we pull for, Josh. We pull for the underdog, don't we, guys? We pull for the underdog, the people who don't have the voice. That's something I've always done. You know?
Yeah, I'm about the same way. I like a good underdog story.
And like I told you, even if this doesn't work out in your favor this year, Josh, you got 4 years, Bubby. That 4 years, you ain't going to sit on your ass and just hope it comes to you. You're going to work harder the next 4 years than you had this last year and a half.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If they see how hard you work, it's an obvious sign of how hard you're going to work in office.
Yeah.
You know, that's where we fall short at. Like I said, you know, back to what I said earlier before. Just voting the same ones in, man, and no change.
Yeah.
After being out on the campaign trail, what are some of your questions you are getting from people that you've spoken with? Let's answer some of those tonight.
Now, buddy, some of the biggest things I'm hearing as I've been out talking to people, it goes back to representation and just the county government being transparent and what's going on. I mean, that's really been one of the biggest things that I've been hearing is just people don't feel like they're represented and they don't feel like things is being as transparent as they should. So I'll be honest with you, I think the people's going to vote for somebody who they will feel that relates to them, will do their best to try to represent them. I think this race is really going to come down to representation, really.
Let me ask you this, Josh. And like I told you before, you underpromise and overachieve. Don't never overpromise and underachieve.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this, and this is off of our notes. This is not on our notes. What are you going to do to make sure that you stand up and you represent each and every one of these people that's going to vote for you? What are you going to do?
Buddy, I just want to keep people filled in on what's going on, and whenever I go to the physical court, you know, I want to think about such and such up in head of the holler that, you know, might have before they never would see a elected official come by and talk to them or things like that. I'd just like to be able to be open and be honest and try to represent everyone equally, and I think that's where my mind goes. Hang on there a second.
Okay. Yeah, guys, like I said, I told him when we done this that there was no promise on how this was going to go, and that's why that I've.
But yeah, that's where my mind kind of goes, is back to the representation side of things, is just to try to make everybody. I mean, even without it being an election year, let's say I win, and I'm 2 years into my 4-year term. Hey, I still got plans to go out here in the hollers. If you see somebody out sitting on the porch, pull in, shake their hand, ask them how everything's going, ask them how they feel about things.
Yeah.
I mean, I always, instead of just doing it at election time and getting out during election time trying to campaign, I'd like to be that person that you see every year.
All the time, yeah.
Regularly out. I mean, that's where my mind kind of goes back.
You know, me and you were talking the other day, Josh, and with the power of the internet, and I don't know everything that goes on with the magistrate side or the supreme side, whatever. But how hard would it be to go online? Listen to your people. That's the thing. Listen to your people. When these people get elected, they don't give a shit about you anymore. Here's the thing. With the power of the internet, let's go live for 10 minutes. I know I don't have a lot of time, but see what people are saying. Yeah. How can I help the people that are speaking the loudest?
Yeah.
That I may otherwise not hear if I stay in my little bubble. That's the thing. Allow people to talk to you and listen to those people.
Yeah. You know, I had posted online. I had actually posted back in January. It's on my campaign Facebook page. Anybody can go back to January, I think 24th, and look at it. I had actually proposed, and I was actually the first candidate in the county to propose this. So they ain't no confusion, because I won't go into too much details about what's going on, but I was the first candidate in the county to propose this ideal of having our physical court meetings spaced out through the county instead of always having them at the Pikeville courthouse, having them at places like Phelps Elementary or you know, just for an example, Phelps Elementary's gym, or like down in Belfry, Dorton. Just all spread
where somebody
out.
can come and voice their concerns to you.
Yes, that way it's bringing the physical court to the people instead of the people having to travel from the head of Harkin Creek or the head of Canton Creek and Stopover, or up in Feds Creek or in Blackberry having to travel all the way to Pikeville to attend the physical court meeting. Which, if we can have it local, you know, it's bringing the court to the people, and the people gets to feel like they would be a part of the process. You know, that's more along the lines of what I was thinking on the representation side of things. And two, I will go another step further, and I will say the whole landfill situation, if the current commissioners would have just said, hey, this is what we're proposing, this is what's going on, this is what we're looking at, what do you think, the community, the county, the county would have voiced their concerns, and then the commissioners would have known, hey,
that's a no-go.
The people's not going for it, so there's no need to pursue this. End story.
Yeah, and that goes back to doing shit behind closed doors. I mean, I don't like that. I like transparency. That's one thing I like. And it goes for anything that you do. Being transparent and honest will get you further than bootlicking. You know, the thing is too, a few months ago, I actually posted my paychecks of what I make every month. I'd actually posted it. I mean, just for the fact, just show people. I mean, I don't have nothing to be ashamed of, or I don't have nothing to hide in my personal finances. Yeah. I mean, I posted my paychecks. You know, I'd be the same way if I was elected. I mean, if I can't do it in honest and good faith with the county budget to try to hide it, I won't be doing it. Well, you know, if you were to get in that position, Josh, if you were to win this election, people are going to ask you for favors. Yeah. But nobody has to know about it. Nobody has to know about it. Let me tell you something. You can't trust anybody. Yeah. There's only a handful of people that you can trust. If you get elected, do what you're supposed to do. Be the voice for the unheard. Be truthful. Be open. Like you said, transparency goes a long way. Yeah. Do what you know is right. And I'm not saying lead by your heart, but you know, sometimes you got to lead by your heart.
Yeah.
And I know that the people would not accept this. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this right. If I had to die on that hill alone, I'll die on that hill alone. But they know that these guys know that I went down swinging.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I can ask for you. And like I said, it doesn't affect me because I'm not Pike County resident anymore. But I know that I know in my heart of hearts that you've got what it takes to do the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know nobody in Pikeville personally that holds any kind of power. I'm beholden to nobody except for the people and the people that's going to be voting. I don't owe nobody no favors. I mean, I'm running because I honestly think that I can do a good job, and I honestly think that I'm what the people are leaning towards and what the people want to see in office, in elected positions now.
It takes a lot of guts, man, to put yourself out there. Because here's the thing about it, Josh, and I'm going to tell you this, and I know this from experience, and like I said, I'm not representing nobody but myself here. When I get on this live stream and I'm playing a video game, look, you open yourself up to a lot of shit, and I'm telling you that right now. You could do a million things right. The first time that you don't do what somebody asked of you, they're going to talk shit about you. Don't read deep into it. Just like I said, know that you're going to do what you know that you have to do. Okay?
Yeah.
There's going to be people who don't like you. People who don't even know who you are as a person.
Yeah.
That's when you brush that shit off and you do what's right.
All of this politicking stuff, all this political stuff, this is all uncharted territory for me. Like I said, this has been my first time running for anything. I've never run for nothing before.
I don't run much anymore either. My belly, you can tell by it.
So, you know, I have just putting myself out there as a political candidate, you know, for the world to see.
Yep.
I mean, it has opened my eyes to a lot of things. I'll use this as an example. A few months ago, I had received word that they was supposed to been some people that was trying to badmouth me and trying to put me down, and all because of politics, basically.
Yeah.
They was trying to get me riled up, and I think was trying to get me off message, and you know, off focusing on what I want to do, and trying to get me to get down in the dirt and get down in the gutters and sling mud that we see a lot in politics.
Yeah.
And I decided just to stay on the high ground and just
what you got to do.
Just hey, if people's going to talk, let them talk. And then later on, to come to find out, I think where I was hearing the information from, it was just from somebody just trying to set me up to begin with.
Yes, try to get you riled up, try to get you to say something about the other candidate.
Yeah.
That way that other candidate, I don't even know if that's who it is. Like I said, I've not heard this story. Let's just say it was another candidate, and somebody can get you riled up, Josh, and you say something, boom, they're going to use that against you.
Yeah. So I will say this, I'm not getting down into the mud, I'm not getting down into the dirt. If anybody wants to throw dirt on me, I mean, they're just going to have to sit there and throw dirt all they want. I mean, I'll use that dirt and I'll plant a little ginseng in it. So
there you go. But here's one thing you got to remember, Josh. As much as you're off to yourself and you like your privacy and you like your private life, if you get into office, if it's May 19th, which I hope and pray to God that it does, there it goes. Okay. Yeah. And I'm not telling you that to try to deter you, because I think that you're going to be an awesome magistrate if you get elected. Just know that there's got to be times that you're going to have to say no. There's going to be times that you got to be, hey, this is how it's got to be.
Yeah.
You know. I'm going to jump back into my questions. I ain't got but a few more here, guys. And for the ones that are still sticking around that's got questions, please just hang loose, and we'll get you right up in here so we can ask Josh these questions. What was the specific moment? What was the moment, Josh, when the light bulb went off and you realized that, hey, shit, I'm going to have to quit complaining, and I'm going to have to do something about this?
Buddy, I'd have to say I started thinking about the ideal. Wasn't really nothing serious. Probably about 2, 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
when Pike County voted to go back from commissioners to go back to magistrates. I would have to say that's when the thought started entering my head, and the more we kept getting up to the timeline to file, and the closer we kept getting, I kept thinking, can I be a positive force for the district and the people? Can I represent the people? Is maybe somebody like me what the people are looking for in a candidate? All that stuff started going through my head, and then, I finally made the ultimate decision that, it might be time for a shift in politics as we know it, and focus more on towards the grassroots candidates that are, the underdog, so to
Yeah.
speak. And
What does grassroots mean for you, Josh? I seen it on your slogan. What does the grassroots mean for you?
buddy, the way I kind of viewing the grassroots take, it's just average people like me and you that have to get up every day and go to work. We don't have tons of money. We don't own businesses. I mean, we're just the average down to earth people that that just gets up and goes to work, and just basically that kind of people that actually knows what it's like to have to pay a power bill, and if you're scared to open a power bill, it actually scares you to have to open it to see what it might be.
Yeah.
It's basically that kind of people that I think considers grassroots. I mean, when they finally realize that, hey, things ain't working, the people we keep voting in, that it ain't helping. I
Yeah.
mean, when people like that finally get fed up and have enough, say, hey, what do I got to lose other than to run and see what happens? There's nothing left to lose.
No.
That's what I think grassroots.
Well, that's a good explanation, Josh. I know I threw some stuff here. I threw some curveballs at you that I know you wasn't ready for, but I mean, I like to hear the answers. I like to because so here's the thing. If I send you over a script and I say, Josh, here's the questions I'm going to ask you. You're going to prepare for those.
Yeah.
But when I ask you something that's not there, then you can start speaking from the heart, and that's what I want to see. I want to see, how you react to some of the questions that I ask, because I want to know, and that's what a lot of these people are wanting to know.
Yeah.
Is not what Josh can do for me, and I don't think any of these people that are in here are saying what can Josh do for me, but what can Josh do for us.
Yeah.
As a collective group. And then I just it, and not nothing against you, but if any of the other candidates want to come on here, I'm gonna do them the same way. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna let everybody else make their mind up.
Yeah.
I've got my feelings on certain candidates that maybe some people don't agree with, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But that's because of my run-ins past, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But Josh, me and you've known each other for, you're 35 and I'm about to be 34. We've known each other for about 33 years, 32.
Yeah.
And I've never had a bad word against you. I've never known of you pissing anybody off. I mean, you were always a good friend to me all the way through high school. Me and you, and like we said earlier, Jamie and Jarrett and Justin and Richard and all of us.
Yeah.
Curtis. We were all as close as you could be, and I've always been treated with respect, and I think the world of you. And like I said, some of these questions I know that you wasn't ready for, but I know what type of person you are, and it come May, these people are going to find out what kind of person you are.
That's the thing I will say. If they are anybody listening or anybody that is watching this, if you don't know me personally and you're hearing somebody saying something bad, reach out to me. Come talk to me. I'll talk to you. Get to know me. Don't believe everything that you hear.
Guys, listen. We were in carpentry class together. Josh was always the one that he never believed in himself back then. But when it come to go to competition time, that right there was the one that they took. And this dude sat down, just taking basic carpentry class, built his house from the ground up on his mama's land, and is living in that house. How many people that can take the initiative to say, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability? Y'all know that. Y'all know that. And that, I mean, and I know it doesn't directly correlate, but if you give the man a chance, let him do it to the best of his ability. That's what you got to do. You know, I know I ramble on here, and I love it. Like I've always preached no politics on my stream, and I know this isn't politics in the federal level, which I'm okay with. But I have absolutely enjoyed being able to sit down and just, Josh, we haven't talked in years, Bubba.
Yeah.
I've been busy, you've been busy, but damn it, I still think the world of you, and I'm glad that you give me the opportunity to sit down here and talk to you about this. We got a few more questions. So, you got anything you want to say?
Now we'll roll on.
All righty. 10 years from now, what do you want the brand of your county to be? Are we a tech hub? Are we a farming community? We know that ain't happening unless we clear off some of them strip jobs. But you know, are we a tourism destination? Which I know that, you know, Pike County's trying to push a lot there with the Hatfield McCoys and the Pike County trails and stuff like that. Or is it something else, man? What is your vision for Pike County? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. If it was my perfect vision in a perfect world, I would like to see Pike County still being America's energy capital, and the coal market be able to rebound and stabilize to still be a good producer of coal in the county. That would help some of the short-term issues with jobs and such. But I'd like to see it be a all of the above approach. I'd like to see the coal market come back and be able to stabilize to provide jobs on the coal side of things. I'd like to see the tourism sector continue to grow and tourism pick up around in the area a little bit more.
Right.
And I'd like to see the empty industrial parks that we have. I'd like to see those start coming alive as well.
Still used, yeah. I mean, we're in an age, Josh, of the internet to where call center, you remember Sykes used to be over at Pikeville, you know.
Yeah.
Things of that, and like I said, back to the data centers, guys. Let me tell you something. When it comes to the data centers, I know that I sound like I'm advocating for them. I'm not advocating for them. I'm just trying to get you all ready and let you all understand that that's something that you're all going to need to be sustainable in Pike County, and it will sustain the coal market for you all and the power plants. And like I said, I mean, look at what 304's done up there. You know where 304 Park is? They put a drag strip on top of a strip job. That mother puncher is a booming in the summer. Something like that. You know, bring some of these people in with all this money from outside. They got to rent a motel. They got food. They got, you know, stuff like that. Bring that in.
Yeah.
Bring it
out using, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Knott County Trail Ride.
I have.
I had talked about using the existing trail systems that we have here for the ATV trails and hosting something like how Knott County does, and hosting a horse trail ride around and using our existing trails about once in the spring and once in the fall. That would bring in a lot of people that likes to trail ride horses and stuff here too, something like Knott County does.
Yeah. That, and you know, like this year coming up, and me and the wife and the kids, we're going to try to get out and head up there and ride hillbilly trails.
Yeah.
Up there in Pikeville. Because, you know, and that's me bringing some of my money back into Pike County. But, you know, that's something that needs to be thought of, and it needs to be thought of, like I said, a level that's going to be above, you know, what you all, but you are a voice. This is something you bring up. Like, no idea is a dumb idea.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you. I mean, even if you throw an ideal out there and the public don't really bite onto it and don't accept it, I mean, hey, at least you tried to put together an ideal to throw out there.
let's
I
back
mean,
up and reapproach it. Maybe we go with this way.
yeah, exactly.
You
And
don't say
I'll
no. Just
I'll be the first to say, even if I'm elected and I serve on the physical court, if I throw an ideal out there and it flops, I mean, I'm not gonna. That's not gonna be the hill I'll die on just because.
tuck your tail and run.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stand on the hill just because it's my ideal. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody else comes up with something better, hey, I'll get on board with it.
Right. And that's what you got to do, man. Like I said, that goes back to listening to your people.
Yep.
Last question, Josh. I know we've been an hour and a half. It's been a good one. I like this. Do you think the current system is still the best way to represent people, or do you think this new magistrate role is going to be? I know what your answer is going to be. This because you're running for it, but let's take that out of the equation and tell me why do you think the magistrate role is better than the current system we have?
If you're looking at it from a representation standpoint, I do think the magistrate system is a better system to represent the people because you've got smaller districts, less amount of people that'll be represented. You got one person representing a smaller number of people. I do think that the magistrate system is better on the level of representation.
Okay, good.
But if you're looking, I'll go a step further and say, if you're looking at things from a financial standpoint, the commissioner system would be better on a financial level because now we're going to go from paying 3 commissioners a salary off of the county tax money to having to pay 6 magistrates off
Right.
of the county tax dollars. So, an argument could be made for both, but the question was representation. So I would have to say the magistrate system is better for representation.
Good deal. Good answer. All right, Josh. Anybody in the chat? You have any questions for Josh? Please go ahead and put them in the chat. What time you do that? I'm gonna go back up here and look at some of the other. See if there's any questions in here from.
You'll have to read them off to me because I can't.
I got you. I got you. That's Corn asking about how in the hell do you manage a whole county off of $110 million a year? Road work alone has to take up at least a quarter of that.
I think like I said, I've not got the open records request for the county budget, but I think that the employee payroll and their insurance and stuff, I know that takes up a good portion of the budget every year. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, from what I've heard, I've not looked at the budget, but everything I've heard and everything what I have seen, it is on a shoestring budget, basically. I mean, they ain't no other way to sugarcoat it. I mean, the co-severance money's gone and it's not what it used to be. You went from getting $10 and $12 million a year off of co-severance money down to 1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million of co-severance money every year. So, I mean, things are a lot tighter now than what they used to be 10, 15 years ago.
I mean, not saying, and that stuff can change, Josh. Like I said, just having the right people in the right situations to be able to bring up ideas,
Yep.
Let's see here. Ron the Prater said it seems like the county commissioner voted on it until the people found out about it, and then they only, what only did they say? Well, I voted for it, but I didn't read it. Why do you think that they would vote for anything that they didn't understand? That goes back to the bootlicking side of stuff.
Yeah, well, my personal opinion I can't speak on reason they voted yes. I can't speak on what they did. But, maybe they just seen what they seen on the presentation that was offered. They seen the opportunity of jobs, and that's the reason they voted. That's what I think, probably. But like I had said earlier, if they just would have asked the people how they feel and let the people know, I mean, it would have been shot down early on. So it never would have became an issue.
Right. Little bit of transparency, Josh.
Exactly.
Louise said the people of Pike County need a new generation that will show what they can and will do. Josh Mayhorn is honest, hard-working man, and he will work for the people. We got any more questions, guys, before we let Josh go? I feel like you've covered a pretty broad amount of questions here, Josh.
I feel like I've done better than what I thought I would do, considering this is my first time doing anything like this. And
yeah.
I've always been a little on the shy side.
Oh, buddy, it's just me and you talking. You know what I mean? Just two old buddies from high school catching up. That's all it is. But no, like I said, May 19th, man, best of luck to you, and I hope that it works out in your favor. I don't see why it wouldn't. One thing I do want to say is this podcast will be on Facebook. Will also be on YouTube. So if anybody's watching on Facebook and you happen to lose it, just in the description there, I have my YouTube link there. You can go back and watch this podcast as many times as you want. And if you want to come up with questions, just definitely let me know, or message Josh. Message Josh on his business page, which is Josh Mayhorn for Magistrate District 5. He'll get back with you there pretty quick. And I thought about doing an edit and putting it out, but since we've done a live stream on YouTube, I don't think there's much use for that now, are there? But no, Josh, hopefully we can do it again, man. Hopefully May works out for you, brother, and we can get on here and I can congratulate you. And next time I'm in Phelps and you're not at work, maybe we can go grab us a bite to eat at Hornets and sit down and talk about it,
Why, yeah.
But in closing, man, and I know you probably ain't got a whole lot to do. You don't get off work till what, 11? 9. Well, you got about an hour and a half, so it gives you a little bit of time to calm down before you have to drive home.
Step back and reflect on things.
Yeah, but I think a lot of your questions, man, and you didn't leave a whole lot of open-ended questions, or you didn't leave them open. Like, you were to the point, and I appreciate that. And you didn't say, "Well, let me get back with you on that." My mom said, "Good luck at the polls, Josh." Man, just keep doing you, man. Keep being awesome. I think you're running an amazing campaign. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this. In all seriousness, like I said, I've not got the biggest platform out there, but what I can do is shine a light on what I think's right. And I think I'm not saying it because I know you, man, but I know this means a lot to you, and I want to see somebody that I know personally, and I know it's going to work his ass off, get in there and do what's right for the people. And I think that's you. But before we go, give us one thing, preferably something that people of Pike County can look forward to.
Well, they're going to be able to look forward to representation. I can tell them that much. I mean, I will be the person that will make the trip to go up every holler. And if I see you out in the yard, if I see you sitting on the porch, I'll pull in, I'll say hi, I'll shake your hand, I'll ask you what you think, I'll ask you how you feel. And, I just want to make people feel like their county government is back involved and listening to the people again.
Awesome. Well, before we go, I got one question to ask you, brother. Off the top of your head. Give me 3 guests you want to see on here.
Buddy, I'd like to see you have Benjamin Hurley on here. I know we've mentioned his name a little bit in the beginning of this. Yeah. He's running for Kentucky's 5th Congressional District. I'd like to have him here. I'd like to see Michael Farris. He's a candidate for Kentucky's U.S. Senate race to replace Mitch McConnell. He's what I would consider a grassroots candidate, first time running for anything like myself.
Okay.
Like to on here, and I'd like to see my old buddy Mikey Mounts on here,
Okay.
A local preacher that overcame drug addiction in his teenage years and early 20s to straighten up and get on the straight and narrow and eventually become a preacher. So I think he would have a real good story to be able to tell people.
Awesome. Like I said, it's not just about politics on here, man. Like I said, we sit down and talk about it, you know. I'm gonna have to get you to see if you can get me in touch with Benjamin. I know you can get me in touch with Mikey. And maybe Ferris.
Yeah.
See if maybe I think Jody said it. I think it was Jody that said he knew Ferris too. So see if you can get me in touch with them, and I'd like to sit down and just have a conversation, and ask them some questions as well, man.
All right, buddy. It sure will do. I'll put them in touch with you.
Absolutely, buddy. Hey, Josh, again, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you giving me the time. And good luck come May the 19th. Guys, get y'all's ass out and vote. Don't be scared. I don't care if you got COVID. Get out there and vote. Man, have a blessed one. God bless you. And good luck come May the 19th. And, guys, I hope to God that you all are looking at your new District 5 magistrate. Josh, thanks, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. God bless it.